You're tired of renting, or perhaps you're about to get a new addition to your family. So you're out on the market looking for a new home. Where do you start? Well, most people look on the internet. They browse the internet, finding homes that they think will fit their budget or fit what they're looking for. But stick around and I'll tell you why this is not the best way to start your home search. Hello, David Fiddler here with ERA Advantage Realty. Today I'm going to cover the very first step you should always take in your quest for a new home. Whether it's your first home or your 25th home, regardless of which home you're working on, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below as well as the like button to keep on getting new tips and advice on buying and selling your home. And now you've decided it's time to buy a new home. You get all that new home buyer's rush and you race off to your computer searching for home listings that are available in your area. Perhaps you then run over or call a friend or a family member who happens to be a realtor. You start to explain to him or her what kind of house you want, where it's going to be at, and all those fine conveniences. But a good realtor will stop you right there and ask you the first important question. Have you talked to a lender and have gotten pre-approved? You stare back at them and ask, why do I need to talk to a lender? Why do I need to get pre-approved? Believe it or not, this is the first and very important step in the home search process that often gets procrastinated to a later time and then often becomes a problem. There are 8 reasons why it's smart to get pre-approved first. But before we get into that, let me clarify something. Often people will go out and get pre-qualified versus pre-approved. While they may seem like the same thing, they're actually quite different. And the difference is very important. So let me explain quickly what the pre-qualified is versus pre-approved. Pre-qualified simply is you go talk to a lender, you tell them some key information, what you anticipate your wages are and information like that, and he does a quick estimate as to what he believes you will qualify for. Versus a pre-approval, you go in and you actually give the lender all the documentation just like you do when you have to get the loan. So based on that documentation, they go in and actually pre-approve you, and thus has a higher level of certainty and a higher accuracy, and you get all the paperwork in place ready to go. Now, the first reason why you should get pre-approved is that it simply gives you the correct price range for you to search. That way you're not wasting your time searching for houses that are way above your price range. And the advantage there too is you're not going to look at houses that are below your price range. Maybe you can qualify for something better than what you thought. So you can actually increase, look for a better home than what your original plans were. The second reason is it helps you to identify potential problems with your credit or with getting the credit. Let's say you have some issues with your job, or maybe the credit history isn't quite there. So this way it allows you to actually go in, identify these problems and work to resolve them or correct them before you actually make a serious search or a serious offer on a home. The last thing anyone wants is you to make an offer, then have problems show up that could have been avoided or could have been resolved prior to that. Now, the third reason why you should get pre-approved is actually makes the realtors happy. They like dealing with people who are pre-approved. That way they know what price range they're at and they're not wasting their time showing you houses that are $100,000 more than you could possibly afford, or maybe a house that's way below that once you learn that you can qualify for more, that you don't even want to consider now. So this allows the realtor to focus in on exactly what you want, where you want, and makes the search a lot quicker. Now, the fourth reason why you should get pre-approved, it actually makes the sellers happy. A seller that has someone come in that's pre-approved gives them a degree of security that they know that you're more likely to carry through with the deal. If you get a buyer that's not pre-approved, he comes in, now he's got to try to get his or her finances set up. Anything could derail it, and suddenly the house is off the market for 30 days or so, and other potential buyers bypass it because of that. And now in the end, the deal falls through and the seller has to delay and have to go back out there and start all over again. So the sellers are much more eager to deal with someone who's pre-approved than someone who's not pre-approved. And if they get multiple offers on it, more often than not, they'll actually go with a buyer who is pre-approved over someone who's pre-qualified or not at all. So for the seller, it is much less a gamble for them to find someone who's pre-approved. And I can tell you for certainty that this happens a lot more than people like to admit. To go through all the way through and get towards the end of the deal and suddenly find out that your deal is no longer valid because the buyer can't get their finances locked in. The fifth reason why you should get pre-approved, because it allows you to move quickly. When the deal comes up and you find that perfect house or the right house, maybe in a hot market where houses are not staying on the market very long, that they're coming and going, you've got to be able to move quickly. And so when you can jump on a house that's there and say, hey, I'm pre-approved, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to close this deal, everyone's happier and you're able to complete the deal far quicker than you can otherwise. Besides that, you've already got all your paperwork into the lender, so all they have to do is go to the underwriter and get the final approval instead of starting over from the beginning, which could take 2 to 3 weeks sometimes. Now, the sixth reason why you should get pre-approval is because then you can actually see what costs are involved. Sometimes people get in and they start going through it, then suddenly they find out, hey, oh man, I got this closing cost, I got the appraisal fee, I got this or that they weren't quite expecting. And suddenly they're looking at it and go like, hey, am I going to be able to do this? Do I have to bring money to the table? Can I roll it into the loan? Or any of these other questions. By getting pre-approved, you get all those questions answered or dealt with up front, so you know what you're dealing with. And the seventh reason why you should get pre-approved is it makes it quicker. As I stated before, you've already got your paperwork, everything you need with the lender. So all they have to do is send it off to the underwriter for that final stamp of approval and seal to close the deal. Otherwise, you've got to start all over, or you've got to start from scratch and just get all your paperwork together and send it off to the lender, get them approved to approve it, then finally send it off to the underwriter. And this could take several weeks or at a time to complete. So by doing this, you're a lot quicker, a lot less issues to deal with, and which leads into the eighth reason why you should get it pre-approved. Simply put, a lot less stress. It reduces the stress because then you know you've already got it in, you're 99% locked into your deal and everything you've got going for you. And so you can close the deal quickly with a lot less stress. And believe me, for a lot of people, buying a house can be a stressful event. It's a major event in your life. It's a major deal that you're moving forward on. And so by reducing this stress, will make it a lot easier and far more enjoyable for you. Now, I would like to close with one final bit of advice. Not a lot of people will tell you this, but go out and see multiple lenders. Now, a lot of people think, oh man, if I see multiple lenders, that's going to be multiple hits on my credit. That's going to zap my credit score. And then when I get to the end, I'm not going to be able to close a deal, or maybe I'm going to end up with a higher interest rate because of it. Actually, for the most part, it really doesn't do that if you do it right. If you go in and see multiple lenders and you shop and you can get the best rates, the best deal, the best costs overall, but if you do it normally within a 14-day period that you hit all these up, then it counts only as one hit on your credit versus multiple hits. So it really has a minimal impact, if any, on your credit score and won't derail your attempts to get a loan. Now, thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe and hit the like button below, and stick around for further advice and tips as we progress on this search for a new home for you.